Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Newshour, India's voice to the world. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Coming up in the next hour. Christmas being celebrated across the world with religious fervor and gaiety. India joins the world in celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ. US Justice Department discovered nearly 1 million additional Epstein-related documents. Reviewing and redacting the material could delay the full release by a few more weeks. India expresses concern to Hindu religious deity statue demolition at Thai-Cambodia border, calls it disrespectful act, urges two sides to resume peace. India observes Good Governance Day on the 101st birth anniversary of former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate National Memorial Rashtra Prerna Sthal in Lucknow. The US Justice Department has found more than 1 million more documents potentially tied to convicted Jeffrey Epstein, delaying a full release for weeks while officials redact details to protect victims. Justice Department began releasing records last week from the investigation into Epstein, a wealthy financier who died in New York jail in 2019 while awaiting trial. And now more than 1 million more documents potentially related to convicted Jeffrey Epstein have been discovered and are being reviewed for release. The Epstein Files Transparency Act, passed nearly unanimously by Congress last month and signed into law by President Donald Trump, mandated the release of all the Epstein files by December 19. The Justice Department failed to meet the deadline, however, with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blank blaming the delay on the need to painstakingly redact the identities of Epstein's victims from the files. Justice Department would need a few more weeks to sort and redact the new material. All right, we'll go across to DD India's Akhilesh Suman. He has more information on this. He joins us live from Delhi. Hi Akhilesh, what exactly has the US Justice Department said about the discovery of these additional documents linked to Jeffrey Epstein, and how significant is this new cache?
Actually, these are part of the whole process of DOJ has been authorized by President Donald Trump himself under the Transparency Act. So all files that are coming, that has been properly reviewed before they are released, and they are also taking care that the privacy of the individuals are not, and that is why you see that there are some morphed pictures, faces are morphed also. So in that way, the Justice Department are releasing the files one after another, because earlier President Donald Trump was also reluctant whether to release the files or not. But finally he agreed, and then the files are being released. There are critics who are telling that there has been delay in releasing the files. But after once it has become, evident to everyone that the files are coming slowly and steadily. So I think the whole world is, engaged in seeing that what is there in the files. It is like WikiLeaks phenomena, that once WikiLeaks came, then everyone in the world were seeing that what is there in the WikiLeaks. The same is there, that the files are coming and the people are seeing, everyone, all the journalists, all the researchers, politicians also have to, many people to research that what is there in the file. So also I think it is going to be one of the major phenomena for Donald Trump in this month. December is very crucial for him because this is the last of the year, and people are seeing that whether something very close to Donald Trump is coming or not. That is the biggest challenge for Mr. Trump.
Yes.
But till now, nothing has come out that can, say that there has been close involvement of Trump in any of the Epstein activities. So till now he is released, but let us see that how it comes, because it's a huge file. Everyone is trying to find out something. I also try to find out something interesting coming or not, but till now I also have not got anything that is pointing fingers against very important persons in this world. We have to wait and see that how things come, because you know that in the past, you know, one of the major things has happened before, you know, WikiLeaks. They were put for while scam. Many politicians in the world have been named football world files, and then one of the foreign ministers were also sacked. I think Epstein files, everyone is seeing that whether Epstein files can name any big politician, name any big industries or not. That is everyone is
Akhilesh, yes, nothing substantial you're saying so far, but again, next few days could turn out to be very crucial. But Akhilesh, the Epstein Files Transparency Act mandated a full release by December 19. Tell us, why has the US Justice Department been unable to meet that deadline?
You know that U.S. Justice Department is reviewing the files also. Before releasing the files, they are reviewing the files, and after reviewing the files, they are releasing it. So I think that is a major cause of a delay in releasing the files. And they are making the PDF of the files, and they are also, you know, trying to see that individuals. Maybe you can say that individuals who are not in a big responsibility, those individuals' photos are being washed. So in that way, I think delays are taking place, you know.
All right, Akhilesh, thank you for the time being, but yes, we'll keep taking updates from you. All right, shifting focus to Europe now, the Ukraine-Russia conflict remains caught between explosions on the ground and negotiations at the table. A deadly bomb blast in Moscow, fresh Russian drone strikes on Ukrainian infrastructure, and troop movements in the east reflect the ongoing intensity of the conflict. At the same time, diplomatic efforts involving the US, Russia and Ukraine are gaining momentum, with peace proposals under review, but no immediate breakthrough yet in sight. DD India's Nishchoy Roy reports.
Moscow woke up once again to the sound of geopolitics, loud and lethal. Russia's investigative committee said 3 people, including 2 police officers, were killed in a bomb explosion on Yeletskaya Street in Moscow on Wednesday. The attack adds to a growing list of assassinations targeting Russian military figures and high-profile supporters of the war. Meanwhile, the Kremlin said President Vladimir Putin has been briefed on contacts with envoys of President Donald Trump over US proposals for a possible peace deal.
Dmitriev has already had the opportunity to brief the president on the outcome of his trip in detail. Based on the information the head of state received, we now intend to formulate our further position and resume contacts in the near future through the channels that are currently operating.
Addressing the Russian parliament on Wednesday, Putin emphasized strengthening national security and sustaining economic growth despite ongoing challenges.
Russia's parliament, both its chambers, is ending the autumn session with solid results. There was a lot of work and a series of important legislative measures aimed at strengthening national security and developing the economy and social sphere in the interest of the country and its citizens was passed.
In Ukraine, forces have withdrawn from the eastern town of Siversk, a move that brings Russian troops closer to the strategic hub of Sloviansk amid growing US pressure on Kyiv to pursue peace talks. Meanwhile, President Volodymyr Zelensky said a 20-point US-Ukraine peace plan could freeze front lines, allow withdrawals, and create demilitarized zones, and is under review by Moscow. Zelensky also reported a Russian drone strike in Ukraine's Zhytomyr region that damaged energy infrastructure and triggered emergency power cuts.
Another Russian attack is vile. Like everything they do, the energy sector was the main target. But unfortunately, there are losses and injuries. Repair crew are working all day at energy facilities, maximum efforts so that Ukrainians have light for Christmas. Of course, the Russians are trying to break both this holiday and this holy day.
Zelensky has also called for a meeting with Donald Trump to resolve key issues like territorial control in a future peace deal. As talks inch forward and positions harden, the conflict remains caught between diplomacy and destruction. Nishroy Roy's report for DD India.
The European Union and its member states reacted sharply on Wednesday to US sanctions imposed on 5 European figures who were involved in regulating tech companies, including a former European commissioner. EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen has said that the Union will keep protecting freedom of speech. They were responding to the US State Department's announcement on Tuesday that it would deny visas to the 5, accusing them of seeking to coerce US social media platforms into censoring viewpoints they oppose. A statement from the European Commission said that they have requested clarifications from the US authorities. French President Emmanuel Macron criticized the US move to impose visa bans on former EU Commissioner Thierry Breton and 4 others European figures. Macron said the US action is an attempt to pressurize Europe over its digital rules. Taking to social media platform X, Macron said that Europe's digital policies are decided democratically and should not be dictated from outside Europe. The French government also condemned Trump administration's decision to blacklist Britain, who helped draft the EU Digital Services Act, a law that regulates big tech platforms. Meanwhile, France's Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot said the Digital Services Act simply ensures that what is illegal offline is also illegal online, and stressed that the law does not target the US. Britain has also reacted, saying the move will not silence Europe's right to regulate its own digital space. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un oversaw the test firing of long-range surface-to-air missiles near the country's east coast on Wednesday. The launch marked another step in Pyongyang's efforts to strengthen its strategic defense capabilities. According to North Korean state media, the missile test was conducted to assess new high-altitude air defense technology, with targets reportedly destroyed at a range of about 200 kilometers. Leader Kim Jong-un also inspected construction work at a separate site on an 8,700-ton nuclear-powered submarine designed to carry surface-to-air missiles. The submarine program is part of the broader push to modernize the Navy and advance one of 5 key defense development policies. In Honduras, Nasri Asfura, a conservative candidate, was declared winner of the Honduran presidential vote on Wednesday after weeks of delays following technical problems and allegations of fraud. The electoral authority, known as the CNA, said Asfura had won 40.3% of the votes, edging out centre-right Liberal Party candidate Salvador Nasrallah, who garnered 39.5%. The candidate of the ruling Liberal Party, Rixi Moncada, came a distant third. The result was announced more than 3 weeks after the November 30th vote. Within minutes of the result declaration, the United States welcomed the election of Asfura and urged parties to accept vote outcome. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio in a statement said that the United States urged all parties to respect the confirmed results so that Honduran authorities may swiftly ensure a peaceful transition of authority to President-elect Nasri Asfura. He further added that U.S. look forward to working with his incoming administration to advance our bilateral and regional security cooperation and legal immigration to the United States and strengthen the economic ties between the two nations. Meanwhile, Honduras runner-up candidate Nasrallah rejected the CNE's declaration, saying it had excluded ballots that should have been counted. Addressing a press conference in the capital, Nasrallah said he will not accept a result. He, however, urged his supporters to remain calm and refrain from any acts of disruption or violence. This is Nasrallah's third unsuccessful bid for the Honduran presidency. The head of the Honduran Congress also rejected the results. All right, moving on, an explosion tore through a mosque in Maiduguri, the capital of Nigeria's Borno state, killing 5 people. In a statement to the media, authorities confirmed the fatalities following the blast in the city, which has long been at the center of the country's insurgency in the northeast. No group has claimed responsibility for the attack so far. However, Maiduguri has previously witnessed repeated attacks on crowded locations, including suicide bombings and improvised explosive device explosions carried out by militants. The latest incident underscores ongoing security challenges in the region, where sporadic attacks continue to threaten civilians despite sustained military operations and regional cooperation aimed at restoring stability. At least 12 people died after a boat filled with migrants seeking to reach Europe sank off the coast of Senegal. The coastal West African country is one of the main departure points for the thousands of Africans who for years have been taking the perilous Atlantic route to reach Europe, primarily via the Spanish Canary Islands aboard overcrowded and often dilapidated boats. The latest sinking came in the waters of the town of Embor when a boat loaded with around 100 people capsized. President Bassirou Faye expressed condolences to the families of the victims in a social media post on Wednesday. On Tuesday, police intercepted 123 migrants aboard a boat in Senegal's Thais region. Now, torrential rains drenched southern California on Wednesday, unleashing widespread flash flooding as authorities urged motorists to stay off roads and residents living downslope or wildfire-scarred foothills and canyons to evacuate. In Altadena, which was devastated by the Eaton fire just under a year ago, homes being rebuilt were covered in tarps and plastic wrap as protection downpours measuring an inch or more of rain an hour in some areas were spawned by region's latest atmospheric river storm. A vast airborne current of dense moisture siphoned from the Pacific and swept inland over the greater Los Angeles area. Forecasters even issued a rare tornado warning for a small portion of east central Los Angeles County due to heavy thunderstorm activity over the community of Alhambra. All right, we are slipping into a very short break. On the other side, more stories. Keep watching DD India Newshour.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Newshour. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Some more stories. Rising tensions between Venezuela and the US have spilled into the global stage, with Caracas claiming strong backing at the UN even as Washington DC tightens sanctions and naval enforcement in the waters of the Caribbean. Meanwhile, regional leaders are pushing for solutions to the humanitarian fallout of Venezuela's crisis. Adamya Mishra reports.
Amid ongoing tension with the United States, Venezuela's ruling party-controlled National Assembly has unanimously approved a new law allowing prison sentences of up to 20 years for anyone who promotes or finances what it calls piracy or blockades.
De aprobar la segunda discusión del proyecto de ley de protección.
In consideration, honorable deputies, those in favor of approving the second discussion for the bill for the protection of freedom of navigation and trade against piracy, blockade and other illicit international acts, please indicate with the usual signal. The law is approved unanimously.
En consecuencia,
This comes as the United States maintains a military deployment near Venezuela and has seized tankers carrying Venezuelan crude oil. Maduro has accused Washington of piracy, saying no one will be able to defeat his country. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro on Tuesday claimed that his country is receiving overwhelming support at the United Nations. The emergency meeting was requested by Venezuela amid heightened tensions between Caracas and Washington.
Y ha surgido con fortaleza propia.
You see the strange piracy behavior that is being denounced today at the United Nations Council. The Security Council is giving overwhelming support to Venezuela and the right to free navigation, to free trade.
Perturbación que se presentase.
Meanwhile, Chilean President-elect Jose Antonio Cast has proposed creating a humanitarian corridor to help Venezuelan migrants return home following talks in Ecuador.
What we have proposed in this tour is to see how a humanitarian corridor can be created for people who are irregularly in Chile, Peru, Ecuador to return to their homeland, and also to ask the Venezuelan government to open its border doors so that those who want to return can do so.
With sanctions tightening, shipping patrols increasing, and tough new laws at home, Venezuela's standoff with the United States is now widening into a broader regional challenge. Adam Mishra's report for DD India.
Authorities in Somalia's capital city of Mogadishu have ramped up security ahead of Somalia's first one-person, one-vote municipal elections in decades. The landmark poll marks a historic break from the clan-based system and follows weeks of intense campaigning across the capital. Police and military units have been deployed to safeguard polling stations and reassure voters amid persistent security concerns. Security forces are also securing key roads and public spaces to ensure smooth movement on election day. Authorities have described the election as a critical step towards strengthening governance and public confidence in Somalia's electoral process. Updates from Bangladesh now. A young man was killed after a crude bomb thrown from a flyover exploded in central Dhaka on Wednesday evening. The incident occurred near the National Council of Churches Bangladesh Bhavan in the Mog Bazar, New Eskaton area under Hatirjil police station. The deceased was identified as Siam. According to police and witnesses, Siam had stepped out to have tea when a crude bomb was hurled from the flyover above, striking him and exploding on the spot. He sustained critical injuries and died shortly afterwards. Masood Alam, Deputy Commissioner of Dhaka Metropolitan Police's Ramna Division, confirmed that the explosive fell from above and caused the fatal injury. Police are examining CCTV footage and searching for those responsible. The attack comes amid renewed concern over crude bomb incidents in the capital following a series of similar explosions reported earlier this month. Bangladesh remains on edge following a spate of violent incidents. The Muhammad Yunus-led interim government faces mounting pressure over the killing of youth leader Osman Hadi. Amid the turmoil, Bangladesh Nationalist Party's acting chairperson Tariq Rahman is set to return to Dhaka. Also, some US lawmakers have urged Dhaka to reconsider the suspension of Awami League. Naval Sangh Parmar in Dhaka and Tripti Tripathi in New Delhi report.
Unrest in Bangladesh continues. Yunus-led interim government faces mounting pressure over the killing of youth leader Osman Hadi. Protests demanding justice have erupted across the country, with Hadi's brother alleging that assassination was orchestrated to derail the national election scheduled for February. Amid this turmoil, Bangladesh Nationalist Party acting leader Tariq Rahman, son of former Prime Minister Khaleda Zia, is set to return to Dhaka after 17 years in self-exposed exile. With Sheikh Hasina's Awami League barred from contesting, the BNP has emerged as the frontrunner, and Rahman is widely seen as a potential future leader. Meanwhile, the National Citizen Party has called for restoring civic rights of Awami League supporters not involved in past violence. In India, members of pro-Hindu organizations staged demonstrations at several locations, condemning the lynching of Deepu Chandra Das, a 25-year-old garment factory worker who was killed and set on fire in Baluka over alleged blasphemy. Adding to the pressure, US lawmakers have urged Dhaka to reconsider the suspension of the Awami League, warning that bans could undermine free elections. In a letter to Chief Advisor Muhammad Yunus, US Representatives Gregory W. Meeks, Bill Huizenga and Sidney Kalamanga Dove warned that banning an entire political party could defranchise a large section of voters. Bangladesh now stands at a critical juncture, with political stability and credible polls under close watch. With inputs from Naval Sangh Parmar, Tripti Tripathi report for DD India.
India's ambassador to the United States, Vinay Mohan Quatra, held talks with US Ambassador to India, Sergio Gord, at Mar-a-Lago over strengthening the trade ties between the two nations. Quatra, in a social media post, stated that they also discussed a bilateral partnership between New Delhi and Washington, D.C. as Gord prepares to assume his responsibility as the US Ambassador to India. Earlier, in a social media post, US Ambassador to India and Special Envoy to South and Central Asia said that it's always a pleasure to meet with India's ambassador to the US, Vinay Mohan Quatra. This was his first visit to Mar-a-Lago. Moving on, India's Chief of the Army Staff, General Upendra Dwivedi, interacted with India's permanent representative to the United Nations, Bihari, in New York on Wednesday. The interaction was focused on the Indian Army's evolving role in United Nations peacekeeping operations, emerging geostrategic dynamics in South Asia, and the integrated application of military and diplomacy to advance peace, stability, and security. Thailand and Cambodia crisis updates now. A Cambodian official accused Thailand of destroying a Hindu statue in a disputed border area after more than 2 weeks of military clashes between the neighbours. A government spokesperson said that the demolition of the Vishnu statue built in 2014 took place on Monday, about 100 metres from the border with Thailand. Cambodia has repeatedly alleged that Thai forces have damaged temple ruins along the border during the clashes. But Bangkok says that Phnom Penh was positioning soldiers at the centuries-old stone structures. Meanwhile, India has reacted to reports of demolition of a statue of a Hindu religious deity located in an area affected by the ongoing Thai-Cambodia border dispute. In response to the media queries on the demolition of a statue of a Hindu deity, the spokesperson of the Ministry of External Affairs said, and I quote him here, "We have seen reports on the demolition of a statue of a Hindu religious deity built in recent times and located in an area affected by the ongoing Thai-Cambodia border dispute. Hindu and Buddhist deities are deeply revered and worshipped by people across the region as part of our shared civilizational heritage. Notwithstanding territorial claims, such disrespectful acts hurt the sentiments of followers around the world and should not take place. We once again urge the two sides to return to dialogue and diplomacy to resume peace and avoid any further loss of lives and damage to property and heritage." Unquote. All right, time now for another short break. On the other side, more stories. Keep watching DD India Newshour.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Hello. Johar. It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout हो गया.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
Can the US launch a bombing campaign against Iran? The Philippines vessel suffered structural damage. The saga of child sexual abuse is the United States China's debt trap strategy. Truth is stranger than fiction. But sometimes hard to uncover. Trust us to tell the truth, unadulterated and pure, of every story that matters to you. You read between the lines, cut the clutter, and connect the dots to get you the full picture. Watch Connecting the Dots at these times with me, only on DD.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Newshour. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. India remembers Bharat Ratna Atal Bihari Vajpayee on his 101st birth anniversary today. Former Prime Minister Atalji was an eminent statesman, parliamentarian, poet and orator. Born on December 25, 1924 in Gwalior, Madhya Pradesh, Atal Bihari Vajpayee is regarded as one of the most successful and honest leaders in Indian political spectrum. Known for his oratory skills and versatile command over the language, he captured the imagination and won the hearts of common man. Atal Bihari Vajpayee had a huge impact on Indian politics, serving as an MP 11 times, 9 in the lower house and twice in the upper house. He was Prime Minister 3 times during his illustrious career. In recognition of his enduring contributions to public life and governance, 25th December is observed annually as Good Governance Day. Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid heartfelt tributes and salutations to former Prime Minister Bharat Ratna Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji on his birth anniversary today.
नहीं मानूंगा, रार नहीं ठानूंगा, काल के कपाल पर लिखता मिटाता हूँ, गीत नया गाता, गीत नया गाता।
अटल जी की वाणी वो सिर्फ भारतीय जनता पार्टियों की आवाज नहीं बनी थी। इस देश का 3-4 दशक का समय ऐसा हुआ कि अटल जी की वाणी भारत के सामान्य मानवी की आशा आकांक्षाओं की वाणी बन चुकी थी। अटल जी बोल रहे हैं मतलब देश।
Sharing a famous poem by former PM Atal Bihari Vajpayee on social media platform X, PM Modi said that Atal ji dedicated his entire life to good governance and nation building. PM said Atal ji will always be remembered not only as an eloquent orator but also as a spirited poet. His personality, works and leadership will continue to serve as a guiding path for the all-round development of the country. Prime Minister Modi will visit Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh on Thursday on the occasion of 101st birth anniversary of former Prime Minister Bharat Ratna Atal Bihari Vajpayee. He will inaugurate Rashtra Prerna Sthal that will serve as a tribute to the life, ideals and enduring legacy of one of India's most revered statesmen. Rashtra Prerna Sthal has been developed as a landmark national memorial and inspirational complex of enduring national significance. Constructed at an approximate cost of Rs 230 crore and spread across an expansive area of 65 acres, the complex is envisioned as a permanent national asset dedicated to fostering leadership values, national service, cultural consciousness and public inspiration. The complex features 65 feet high bronze statues of Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay and former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, symbolizing their seminal contributions to India's political thought, nation building and public life. It also houses a state-of-the-art museum designed in the form of a lotus-shaped structure spread over approximately 98,000 square feet. The museum showcases India's national journey and the contributions of these visionary leaders through advanced digital and immersive technologies, offering visitors an engaging and educational experience. And the inauguration of Rashtra Prerna Sthal marks an important step in preserving and promoting the ideals of selfless leadership and good governance and is expected to serve as a source of inspiration for present and future generations. Mahamana Madan Mohan Malviya is regarded as one of the greatest social reformers for his contribution to the country. The title Mahamana, meaning a great soul, was primarily given to him by Mahatma Gandhi. He was posthumously awarded India's highest civilian honour, the Bharat Ratna, in 2014.
Mahamana Madan Mohan Malviya was a pivotal figure in India's history, renowned for his significant contributions to education and the preservation of Indian culture and values. He was born in Prayagraj, Uttar Pradesh on December 25, 1861. Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya founded the Banaras Hindu University or Kashi Hindu Vishwavidyalaya with the aim of promoting education and fostering the careers of the youth.
महामना जैसे व्यक्तित्व सदियों में एक बार जन्म लेते हैं और आने वाली कई सदियों तक हर पल हर समय उनसे प्रभावित होते हैं। भारत की कितनी ही पीढ़ियों पर महामना जी का ऋण है। वो शिक्षा और योग्यता में उस समय के बड़े से बड़े विद्वानों की बराबरी करते थे। वो आधुनिक सोच और सनातन संस्कारों के संगम थे।
Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya was one of the founders of Bharat Scouts and Guides. He founded the influential English newspaper, The Leader, from Prayagraj in 1919. He also served as the chairman of Hindustan Times from 1924 to 1946. As a result of his efforts, its Hindi edition, Hindustan Dainik, was launched in 1936. As a lawyer, he defended more than 170 freedom fighters arrested in connection with the Chauri Chaura incident in 1922 and succeeded in getting 155 of them acquitted, while for the rest, he managed to get their death sentences commuted to life imprisonment, thereby saving many lives. He gave up his legal practice in 1911 so that he could devote more time to the service of the nation. Mahatma Gandhi bestowed upon him the honorific title of Mahamana. The title Mahamana, meaning a great soul, was primarily given to him by Mahatma Gandhi in recognition of his unparalleled contributions to education, social reform, and the freedom struggle. Mahatma Gandhi also considered him like an elder brother and was deeply impressed by his work for the country. In 2014, President's office announced the Bharat Ratna award to him posthumously. A key figure in India's independence movement, he is remembered for his significant contributions as a scholar, educational reformer, and politician. Bureau Report, DD India.
And paying tributes to Bharat Ratna Mahamana Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya ji, Prime Minister Modi in a social media post said that Mahamana remained dedicated throughout his life to the service of the motherland. He said that Mahamana played an important role in awakening national consciousness along with social reform to break the chains of slavery. He further said that Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya ji's unparalleled contribution to the field of education in the country will never be forgotten. As the world come together to celebrate Christmas, faith and tradition take center stage across continents. From solemn prayers to vibrant community gatherings, the spirit of the season is being marked in many forms. People gathered in Bethlehem, Palestine to mark Christmas as thousands of residents and visitors filled Mangus Square. The celebrations included music and performances in the town that holds a central place in the Christian story of Jesus Christ's birth. At the Deir el-Latin Church in Gaza, worshippers gathered on Wednesday to observe Christmas, coming together for prayers and reflection as part of the holiday traditions. Worshippers attended Christmas Eve rites at the Syriac Catholic Cathedral of Sayyidat al-Najate in Iraq. During the service, priests and altar servers lit a small ceremonial fire as part of the tradition. In Mexico's Oaxaca, artists and gardeners marked the annual Night of the Radishes. Held ahead of Christmas Eve, the event features radishes carved into ornate designs, a tradition dating back to the 16th century. And astronauts aboard the International Space Station sent festive greetings to Earth, wishing people a happy holiday season. The crew decorated the station with a small Christmas tree, sharing chair from orbit far above the planet. And the festive spirit is in full swing across India as well as Christmas celebrations light up cities and towns. Streets, churches and markets are adorned with colourful lights and decorations while people come together to offer prayers, sing carols and enjoy the joyous holiday atmosphere. Christmas festivities brought a lively atmosphere to Mall Road in Manali, Himachal Pradesh, where tourists and local residents came together to mark the holiday. The popular hill station was abuzz with activity as streets were adorned with decorations and filled with music and enthusiastic crowds. All right, we'll go across to Delhi. DD India's Akshay Dongre joins us from St. Alphonsus Church. Good morning, Akshay. And we also have our correspondent from Andhra Pradesh, Guntur. Also, Ravi Shankar is from Guntur. Akshay, I'll come to you first. For viewers watching us, paint us a picture. What's the scene like in Delhi on Christmas Day? People stepping outside despite the winter chill?
Well, it seems like it, Abhishek, and while it's quite early in the morning, I'm at Alfonso Church in South Delhi, and you can see that the decorations are in place. People have already started to gather here at the church. And it's not just people from a particular community, but all communities are in fact together in celebration of the holy festival. In fact, yesterday on the Christmas Eve till late night, for midnight carols and other kind of festivities, people from all communities had gathered. Almost each and every church that was there, they all were packed. People are celebrating, but especially for the Christian community across India, which is quite vibrant and comes from all states and even when you talk about metropolitans like Delhi, people from all across the world who are living here get a chance to celebrate their culture. And right now here at Alfonso's Church, that is exactly the site. Like right now, though it's slightly early in the morning, for people to be thronging the churches, but it is gradually going to happen. People are in fact starting to gather up here. Most of them have gone inside church where outside where we are standing right now. So the celebrations are going on in full swing. It's a festive mood across the city. People from all cultures, all faiths, all irrespective of differences in their languages, ethnicities, even communities are celebrating this holy festival. There is a festival of joy, festival of faith, festival of a lot of things that has to be celebrated as far as the principles of Christianity are concerned, that are shared among different communities and different religions across the country.
Stay with us, Akshay. I'll come back to you. Ravi Shankar, Merry Christmas to you first of all. Our church is witnessing steady footfall since morning there. Describe the scenes there from where you are standing.
Yeah, Abhishek, welcome to Amravati and Merry Christmas to you also. Thanks for the wishes. And Andhra Pradesh, it is celebrating the joyful day like anything. And about 6,000 churches across the state, they are full of joy and carols, happiness and all. And if you see the APC history regarding Christmas, in first century itself, there is a town named Masula where Christians came and started their origin. Now it become Machilipatnam, which is the port town of Andhra Pradesh, which is the origin of Christianity of Andhra Pradesh also, you can say. And from there itself, the celebration started. And if you see, today we are celebrating Christmas, but in some places like Russia, Ethiopia and all, 7th January, it is the Christmas day for them. And gifts, music, feasting, carols, they are all being celebrated from yesterday itself in Andhra Pradesh, across Andhra Pradesh. And on 30th of November, which is the advent of Christmas, from that day onwards till today, 24 days, even the government is celebrating semi-Christmas celebrations and all in government departments, self offices and also, in which the government staff also being involved in the celebrations. And the weather also, it is celebrating the comfortable weather. And in some places like Araku and Lambasingi, it dropped to 3 degrees also. And in the chilled weather, the people of Andhra Pradesh, they are celebrating Christmas like anything. Abhishek.
All right, Akshay, beyond celebrations, Christmas also carries a message of peace, goodwill. Are you seeing that reflected in how people are marking the day?
Well, obviously, if you talk about culture as a whole, when it comes to the sort of cultural harmony that India has taken pride in for centuries now. The Christians have always found a special place as far as the cultural vibrancy is concerned in India. In fact, it also becomes the responsibility of the government as well as the people to make sure that the different communities that live here feel at home. And that has happened for centuries. There have been several priests, several leaders from Christian community that have found a home in India. And, in fact, let me just step aside and show you that, the festivities are there. People are coming, people are celebrating, they're enjoying the festival. They started, coming in large numbers as well. So it's a jovial celebration here, and as you rightly mentioned, the ethos of Christianity, the principles of Christianity are something to be learned from, and that is exactly, it seems, what the message is on this day, and something to learn and strive towards as far as we as a community is concerned, and that seems to be happening almost all across the country.
All right, Akshay, we'll leave it at that. Thank you for your inputs. Also, Ravi Shankar, thank you for Thank you for your inputs from Andhra Pradesh, Guntur. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Draupadi Murmu extended warm wishes to their nation on Christmas. The President and PM called on people to embrace the teachings of Jesus Christ and work towards building a society rooted in kindness, compassion and harmony. And the Vatican marked a festive Christmas Eve as Pope Leo addressed crowds in St. Peter's Square. The service celebrated his first Christmas as head of the Roman Catholic Church. The Vatican City filled with anticipation on Wednesday as the faithful gathered at St. Peter's Square for Pope Leo's first Christmas Eve Mass since his election earlier this year, marking his first Christmas as leader of the Roman Catholic Church.
Buonasera, benvenuti tutti.
Good evening and welcome everyone. Basilica of St. Peter's is very large, but unfortunately, it is not large enough to receive all of you. I admire and respect and thank you for your courage and your wanting to be here this evening. Thank you so much for being here this evening, even in this weather. We want to celebrate Christmas together. Jesus Christ, who was born for us, brings us peace and God's love. Best wishes to all of you. Follow the celebration on the screens. May God protect you and bless all your families. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Best wishes to all.
Tanti auguri a tutti.
Meanwhile, the North American Aerospace Defense Command, or NORAD, confirmed that Santa Claus 2 off on his annual global gift-giving mission on Wednesday. The NORAD has assured children that the sleigh is running right on schedule. Now, in its 70th year, NORAD's Santa Tracker has become a global phenomenon, with people around the world eagerly tracking the jolly jet-setter and his trusty reindeer crew led by the shiny-nosed Rudolph as they make a mad dash across far-flung continents. The famed NORAD Santa Tracker traces its roots to 1955 when a misprinted newspaper advertisement prompted children to call what they believed was Santa's phone number. However, the calls reached the Continental Air Defense Command Operations Center in Colorado Springs. Rather than turning the children away, Air Force Colonel Harry Shoup played along, answering their questions and providing updates on Santa's location. The accidental goodwill gesture soon became an annual event. And US President Donald Trump and the First Lady Melania Trump also participated in NORAD's annual Santa Tracker program, taking calls from children tracking Santa Claus as part of the Christmas Eve tradition. Donald Trump hosted a dinner on Christmas Eve in the ballroom of his Mar-a-Lago club in Palm Beach. The Christmas Eve dinner at Mar-a-Lago continues Trump's long-standing tradition of celebrating major holidays at his Florida residence and club, which often serves as a hub for political and social events. Trump also joined calls with U.S. service members, thanking them for their service and extending holiday greetings to troops stationed in different parts of the world. Trump also said U.S. military service members should have received a special warrior dividend, a payment of $1,776 US. Some business updates. U.S. stocks closed higher, with each of the major indexes recording their fifth straight session of gains as the Dow Industrials and S&P 500 registered closing record highs in a broad rally during a holiday-shortened session. Indexes have been climbing in recent days, in part by a rebound in AI-related names after last week's sell-off that was triggered by concerns about inflated valuations and high capital expenditures denting profits. But the market is still pricing in roughly 50 basis points of rate cuts from the Federal Reserve next year, although expectations for a January cut are low. Data on Wednesday showed new applications for U.S. jobless benefits unexpectedly fell last week. Trading volumes were thin. The U.S. markets will remain shut on Thursday for Christmas. Now, NVIDIA has hired the leadership of a promising AI chip startup as the artificial intelligence giant expands its tech empire. Chipmaker Grok said the departure of his top executive was part of a non-exclusive licensing agreement with NVIDIA for its inference technology, as both companies seek to expand access to low-cost AI processing. Under the agreement, Grok founder Jonathan Ross and President Sunny Madra, along with other team members, will join NVIDIA to help develop and scale the Grok's technology. Nvidia's domination of the AI training chip market has made it the world's biggest company by market valuation, but it faces increasing competition in the inference segment from specialized startups like Grok. Now, Japan has revised up its economic growth forecast for the current fiscal year and expects momentum to strengthen further next year. Driven by a massive stimulus package aimed at boosting consumption and investment, under projections approved by the cabinet, the economy is now expected to grow 1.1% in the fiscal year ending next March, higher than 0.7% estimate made in August. The upgrade reflects a smaller than expected impact from US tariffs. Growth is forecast to accelerate to 1.3% in fiscal 2026 as strong domestic consumption and capital expenditure offset weaker overseas demand. The outlook marks the first economic projections under Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi's administration, which has unveiled large spending plans to ease rising living costs and promote growth sectors. World Health Organization Director General Tedros Adhanom said 2025 brought major global health gains, but warned funding cuts and humanitarian crises are threatening progress. In a pre-recorded video message, Tedros cited adoption of the WHO pandemic agreement as the year's biggest achievement.
2025 was the year of major achievements and challenges for global health and for WHO. The most significant achievement was the adoption of the WHO pandemic agreement, a powerful example of what multilateralism can deliver when countries choose cooperation over division. In addition, this year WHO validated 13 countries for the elimination of diseases.
Sports updates now. We'll start with cricket. Delhi Capitals organised the Inter-School T20 DC Cup to unearth the city's next cricketing talent. Speaking to DD India correspondent Narayan Singh, CEO of the Delhi Capitals, Sunil Gupta said the focus is on empowering youngsters and building a strong pathway from grassroots to elite cricket.
Delhi Capitals organised the Delhi Capital School Cup, and the final took place at the Arun Jaitley Stadium, and the tournament was won by the Modern School. Sir, a fantastic tournament. It started in 2012 and it's been a long journey for the tournament. So what are the basic reason behind this tournament to conduct?
The whole idea was that we are a team from Delhi. And this was our opportunity and chance to really give these kids, the boys and girls coming out of school from Delhi, an opportunity to experience cricket at the highest level. And that was the idea. We wanted to bring it back. We took a little bit of a break during the COVID time. But now we are back, bigger, stronger and even better. 18 schools participated this year. It's incredibly great to see the kids come to the Arun Jaitley Stadium, play on the same pitch where some of the great Indian players have played, some key moments, key matches have happened. And just to see their excitement, the joy on their faces and the incredible experience that they've had today is really overwhelming for us.
So we saw a wonderful performance by the young cricketers here from the schools. So do you have some plans to scout these wonderful cricketers, to take them, and do you have plans to frame them in the main team also?
Yes, exactly, that's the plan. We are working very closely with the DDCA. This is a DDCA recognized tournament, and the idea is that we want to keep looking at future talent for the sport. And we've seen some incredible boys and girls come out and play over the last 2 weeks. And we do hope that we stay in touch and keep an eye on them and as they blossom into better players.
So we also saw a change in guard in the WPL, Delhi Capitals changing and making Jamima the captain. So what was the thought process behind that?
I think it was great to see Jemmy involved into what she's become as a player. She was our first pick in the first WPL auction 3 years back, and she's been our vice captain ever since. She's just an incredible person. She's a great talent. We've all seen that, but she's also a great leader. She just brings out the energy and the best in the people around her, and I think this is a fantastic transition for her and very well deserved. And we're really looking forward to our first game where Jemmy really comes onto the pitch as the captain for the Delhi Capitals.
So definitely we saw a change in guard at the WPL with the Delhi Capitals, and hoping that this change in guard will be very fruitful for the team. And also the way the tournament, the Delhi Capitals School Cup took place, definitely a futuristic one, hoping that we will see more young players coming from this tournament and playing for the top tier cricket. With camera person Ashish, Narayan Singh, DD India, Delhi.
Well, that's all we have in this edition of DD India News Hour, but do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. From all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India News Hour.